As per official records, since April 2020, Delhi and NCR together have experienced more than 14 earthquakes of low and medium intensity. The latest one happened this week on Monday, that is on June 8th. It was a low intensity earthquake of magnitude 2.1. But fortunately, the magnitudes of all these earthquakes were well within 5, meaning they caused no harm to public property or public lives. But experts say there is nothing to worry because Delhi already falls under the 4th highest zone in India when it comes to earthquake mapping. So obviously the region is very much used to small kind of or low intensity earthquakes or tremors. But another set of experts are worried a little bit this time because the epicenter of all these recent earthquakes was well within the national capital region. So far Delhi used to experience tremors or shocks because of earthquakes that took place in Central Asian region or the Himalayan ranges, which are highly seismic active zones. So in this video we'll discuss all about earthquakes, their origins, causes and effects. In simple terms, earthquake is the shaking of the land typically caused by the sudden release of energy that is stored in Earth's crust. The main mechanism behind earthquakes is the tectonic activity, which is the movement of tectonic plates. For a better understanding, let us pause for a moment on this topic and see what tectonic plates are. A tectonic plate is like a slab of solid rock which is massive and irregularly shaped. The earth is made up of 7 such major plates and many minor plates. These plates are composed of both oceanic and continental lithospheres. The size and thickness of these plates vary greatly. They can be as small as 100 square kilometer or as big as 10,000 square kilometers. The thickness also varies greatly. They can be as thin as 15 kilometers in young oceanic lithospheres and as large as 200 kilometers in old continental lithospheres. These plates were formed billions of years ago because of breaking up of Earth's lithosphere. And we call this as the theory of plate tectonics, and it was proposed by Mackenzie and Parker in 1967. These plates are constantly moving on the Earth's surface. It is because the lithosphere has greater mechanical strength when compared to the underlying asthenosphere. Please note here, asthenosphere is located 80 to 200 km below the lithosphere and it consists of highly viscous and mechanically weak material. And because of this viscous nature, the tectonic plates on the surface move freely on the asthenosphere. Here, the outer edges of these plates are called as plate boundaries and they are composed of what are called as faults. A fault is a fracture between two blocks of rocks. These faults allow rocks to move relative to each other. If this relative movement happens very quickly and rapidly, it gives rise to earthquakes. Broadly, there are 3 kinds of motion taking place here. Firstly, we call it a normal fault when two blocks move away from each other. It is also known as a divergent boundary. And then there is a reverse fault where two blocks are moving towards each other, which causes a convergent boundary. And then there is a lateral fault where the motion is lateral or sideways, and this causes a transform boundary. So these kinds of motions between two blocks builds up stress in the Earth's crust, and after a threshold point, when the energy buildup in this stress is suddenly released, it causes earthquake. If a huge earthquake occurs in the ocean, it can cause the displacement of water and ultimately tsunami. The movement of these tectonic plates are mainly guided by the structure of Earth. The Earth is primarily made up of 4 concentric spherical regions. First, we have the crust, which is the uppermost and outermost layer of the Earth and is solid in nature. Underneath crust, we have highly viscous and thick mantle, which is essentially solid, but over a geological period of time, it behaves like a liquid. And below this is the liquid outer core, which is made up of molten nickel and iron. And further below, we have a solid inner core, which is made up of a ball of solid iron and nickel. This inner core is smaller in size than our moon. The inner core is about 5500 degrees Celsius in temperature, which is about the same as the surface of the sun. Further, the temperature of the outer core is around 4000 degrees Celsius, and similarly, the temperature of the mantle varies from 200 degrees Celsius to 4000 degrees Celsius. And this amount of intense heat under Earth's crust causes convection, where warm material rises up and cool material sinks down. And this rising material exerts pressure on the Earth's crust and eventually leads to the movement of tectonic plates. And finally, the movements of these plates cause earthquakes. The location where the earthquake starts is called as hypocenter, and the location on the surface directly above the hypocenter is called as epicenter. When earthquakes occur, there can be foreshocks, which is the release of energy before an earthquake happens. There can be aftershocks, which is the release of energy after an earthquake takes place. And there can be main shocks, which is the quake itself, which results in release of huge amount of energy. When an earthquake strikes, the release of energy takes place with the help of two kinds of waves. They are body waves and surface waves. Surface waves travel on the surface of the earth, while body waves propagate through the body of the earth. Body waves are further subdivided into two kinds of waves. One is P waves and the second one is S waves. They are also called as primary waves and secondary waves. P waves are the first kind of waves that seismometers all around the world can pick up when an earthquake strikes. Also called as pressure waves, they are faster than the secondary waves. Essentially, they travel as sound waves and propagate at the speeds of sound. And then we have S waves, which are also called as shear waves. They come after P waves and are transverse waves. Since these waves, that is P and S waves, emanate from the ground, they are helpful in finding the location of an earthquake. Please watch the following video. It helps you in better understanding the movement of P and S waves. Then lastly, we have surface waves, which can cover longer distances without losing much energy. But they are more destructive in nature, which means they cause more destruction than P and S waves. Delhi sits on the edge of the Himalayan region, which is an earthquake prone region. Here, the Indian plate is continuously colliding into the Eurasian plate. As a result, the mountains are continuously rising. Even with so many technological advancements, we still cannot exactly predict the nature and timing of an earthquake. But with enough experiences, we can better prepare ourselves for these shocks.